Today's episode is for those of you who are looking to run meta ads, especially local businesses. This has been something we've been kind of dabbled in and out of over the last couple of years, actually. Going back to as far as kind of 2021 when I ran my very first Facebook ad for my coaching business. And then over the years, kind of helping other businesses and more so local service businesses, there's a lot that's changed. And there was a period of time where Facebook, when you went into the business suite, it updated every week. You would go on YouTube, you'd be learning a ton of stuff, and then you'd go in a couple of weeks later and it's like, it's all changed. So meta ads, the point of today's episode is just to explain and kind of talk through what we're seeing, what we've learned, and kind of giving that advice back to kind of pass it on to cherish it forward, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Dale. I run a marketing agency called Bulletproof Studios. And we here have a pretty solid team in terms of doing everything from content creation to website creation to funnels to paid ads. Anything under the umbrella of marketing, we can be your marketing partner. Now, these episodes have been a very, very sparse since becoming a new dad, but I'm sure we can. I'm sure we're going to pick up a little bit more consistency, whether it's me, whether it's someone else within the team, or maybe it's even Jill as well. Maybe I'll take Bonnie for a little while and let her jump on the shotgun or take shotgun and get into it. Anyway, right, let's talk through what is it that we've saw recently. I think past 6 months was when the big update, Andromeda, it was referred to as, or what the algorithm change that's happened in Meta. But what does that actually mean to the ads that you're looking to run? So if you're a business that hasn't ran Meta before, some things that goes through your mind is it seems like a big risk to put money into a machine and get no return. And that absolutely was the case if you didn't get the right settings, the right campaign structure, the right targeting once upon a time. But as of the last 6 months, I'm not saying that you can just turn ads on and then you'll start making a ton of money, but it is doing a really, really good job at finding the people who are your ideal prospects or customers. Now, every business is going to be different in terms of how they market and the service that they offer, etc. One business category that seems to do really, 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 really well is local businesses with shop fronts. So this can be kitchens, it can be flooring, it can be fireplaces, it might be a chiropractor's, it might be physio, anything where you have a shop front and you have a service to offer or a product to then sell. Those two businesses is maybe we're a little bit biased, but we've ran ads for online courses, online coaching, I guess I can fall into that category as well, online services, e-commerce, and then the kind of next one being this kind of physical service where you have to come into a shop front or local business ads. Now, anytime I've looked into the world of ads and campaigns and I'm learning about it, there's a consistent message through every guru that you hear online, and that is that if you have a local business, it's very, very easy to get ads working for you. Now, I never really understood why that would be the case, but when you break it down, it makes sense. You can't really bump anyone because you get a physical store. If you target to your local area, then people already know about you or see you, so they're more entrusted because it's like when someone's from your home turf, you relate to them a little bit more. If anyone goes on holiday, you see, well, for me, if I see someone from Scotland, instantly there's a connection there. So there's a bit of that goes on as well. And we're in a world where big corporations, like they kill it with revenue and profit and all this sort of stuff. But the general pop, yes, the service and the product of what you have to deliver plays a part. But general pop are starting to swing a little bit more in terms of giving their local business or giving their business to local businesses, if that makes sense. So if you are in the market and you're competing against some of these big corporate companies, and you've got a local business, then now is the time. Right, so what's the kind of main theme from that I want you guys to take away from today's episode is what is the main focus if you're looking to run your very first campaign or you're looking to change your meta ads, what is the focus? Like, how do you have a successful campaign? Now, a successful campaign isn't I spent £1 and I made £1 in return. If you've got a recurring business model, I was just having a conversation with someone this morning who inquired, and they've just set up their business and they're looking to run meta ads straight off out the gate. And I said to them that, like, your offer is relatively low, but it's a monthly recurring revenue. So it was like £49 a month. Now, if they are spending £1,000 a month, that's a lot of £49 to make up of that basis. But something to get through to everyone is you want to kind of measure your prospects, or it's not your prospect, your client's long-term value, or how long the life cycle is that a client will on average stick around with you. So if you look back at the past couple of years and you can measure, okay, we've had 100 customers, the average customer cycle is stuck with us for 8 months, or let's say in this case 10 months at £49, then my customer value is £490. So although you get one lead in and one sale out of running your meta ads, you've not brought in £49, you've actually brought in £490, because you know on average the service, or they stick around and give you £490 worth of value. Does that make sense? Hopefully you're still with me. So understanding your numbers and what your break even is always a good part, but a lot of people will give up because they don't get the bite, or they don't see the return. And in fact, I'm still guilty of this, because it's nerve wracking when you're spending hundreds of pounds a day and not seeing anything come back. It's like, it's no gambling, but it almost feels like gambling. It's that same rush. So as a business owner, I can relate to you a lot here, because I've pulled the plug so many times on campaigns that haven't been working. And it's not that the campaigns haven't been working, it's just the right setup, or the right targeting, or what I've done in the lead follow-up process hasn't been the most effective. So there's a lot that we can speak in this, but there's only one piece of advice that most people need to kind of get through, or what I'm in the conversations that I'm having. You forget about the ad setup just now. The campaign, the structure, all you need to do is put a budget against your campaign, and Meta will work out the rest. We're in the era of AI. There's no point trying to outsmart the system. And I say that, but there is things that you can do, like if you know no one's going to buy between certain hours, then you might want to turn your campaigns off with that. I see some agencies doing that strategy. But in the grand scheme of things, it does really well at figuring out when to spend your money and when to not. And you need to feed it that information. So usually you have a learning stage and you work in 7-day cycles, or we like to work in 7-day cycles. Like, don't change anything for 7 days, then make a decision. In an ideal world, you would go the month, you would go seasons, because Christmas may look very different to January in some business industries and whatnot. So there's a lot of moving parts. But that's why if you try and beat the system, it's like the casino. The house always wins, and very rarely will you walk away winning. So all you need to do is get a budget aside. We kind of recommend always starting with like £10 a day, £300 a month. That gets you a good starting point, and then allows you to scale once you get more information back. Now, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of all the things you can do to set up what to track and all that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, if you're looking for more leads, this is the starting point. Okay, so you set up your campaign, or you go in to set it up. There's tons of videos online on how to set up a campaign, and if you don't want to do it yourself, then please reach out to us. We're more than happy to help manage your ads campaign. But then the next part is the most important part, was what type of ads do you run? Now, the creative concept of the ads that you push out to an audience is more important than ever. So I'm going to take this bottle of water, and just so happen that I have a lens if you're watching on TV, right? Say this is person A and this is person B. Both these people have two completely different interests. Now, I'm going to take the example of flooring. Okay, say you're running a flooring company and you're like, okay, right, I'm going to try this ad campaign. Now, these two people might be in the market for new flooring. Person A might want a carpet, person B might want herringbone. Now, you might typically create an ad in the past where it was very generalised. Hi, my name's Dale. I own Bulletproof Carpets and Solutions. I don't know if that's what I would call it. But we are a local business here in Airdrie, and if you're in our area and are looking for your house to get a new flooring, please contact us, right? That's a very basic general terms. Now, that ad, weirdly enough, still performs pretty well and casts a net out to an audience. Before, we had to kind of get lookalike audiences and figure out, all right, okay, what is the interest in someone who's buying a new carpet? What are they interested in? Home improvements. Like you put a lot of interest in, or you'd find audiences and create lookalike audiences. That is no more. It comes down to the messaging, the words that you use in your copy, what you actually say in the video, the text that comes up on screen, the carousel that you end up using, that will find the person. So if person A and person B are looking for a flooring place and they see someone in their local area, they're more likely to then, oh, okay, right, that sounds good. I'm going to inquire. And you actually find you get a very good result from that. But if you want an even better result, because let's be honest, we're always trying to optimize and maximize for every pound we put into the machine, how many pounds can we get back out? And this is where it becomes very, very, well, it's not that it's information that's kept and not talked about, but it's something that we want to talk about because we've made the mistake, and when we've made this change, we see a massive improvement with the quality of leads that come through. Now, meta ads in the past, and it still does the case, like, to be honest, like, you'll run a campaign, you'll say, I only want to target these people in Airdrie, and you'll be like, okay, I've got 10 leads, and you phone 3 of them, and they're like, hey, I'm in Belfast, and you're like, oh, what the fuck are you doing applying to my ad when I'm saying, people of Airdrie, are you interested in this? So sometimes there's going to be just people that slip through the cracks, right? You just chalk that up to a loss, and that's where you can be very creative on creating a little bit more friction, putting it to a landing page, let them fill out more information. The more information they give, then the better it become. And I'll talk about strategies and all that in a different episode. I think we're maybe a wee bit too early to talk about that because we're testing, trialing our very own strategies for our business and the businesses that we're working with. So I don't want to speak too soon until I've got hard factual data. But maybe I'll update on some of the ones that we are seeing or the ones that we're running. Sorry. Now, back to my point, general ad, okay? Bulletproof Carpet Solutions. We are in Airdrie. That's the messaging. So that finds the people. A way to make that better is person A and person B have, yes, they're interested in changing the flooring in their house, but they have very different things that they're after. One is looking for a carpet, one is looking for herringbone. So back to the business, if you're operating a business and you have more margins in carpet than you do in herringbone or vice versa, no idea which one would be more profitable, pick that as the very first product that you run. We have been really, really guilty of this as well in marketing. We do content, we do podcasts, we do long form, we do short form, we do websites, landing pages, automations. There's a lot of things that we do. Now, if we market all of that, it gets very messy. Whereas if I market, are you a business that doesn't have a website and is always wanted a website? Well, we're in your area. We can come out, we can create it for you, we can film everything. You don't have to lift a finger. We do all the heavy lifting. Are you interested? You're more likely to respond to me than someone that's like, hey, we're a marketing agency and we do websites and content. So you see how if the more specific you get with your messaging, the more specific you get with the thing that you help people with, the better return and the better quality of lead that then comes in. So if you get 100 leads and some are herringbone, some are tiles, some are just, I don't know, like, what else do you get? Like wall panels. Like it makes it a very messy lead process. Whereas you can put someone that replaces your outbound or replaces your appointment setter or closer because they only have one job and one thing to sell. So you see how it makes this whole process a lot easier. A lot of people forget that when they open up an acquisition channel like Meta Ads, it requires manpower, it requires staff, and there's a lot of things that you can do with automations and AI to do all the heavy lifting. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for more business, you still have to pick up the phone and speak to them, or you still have to have a face-to-face interaction, because the businesses that we're helping are service-based businesses. It's the part that was never really going to get replaced, and that's the human connection that's important, especially when it's products upwards of thousands and thousands of pounds. So that's the kind of main part I want to get through. So really, really drill down to the messaging, write out a variety of different concepts, right? So let's flip this on the script. Let's do physio. Okay, physiotherapists. If you have a physio business and you obviously can deal with everything, right? Think of the list of injuries. I can name about 40 injuries I've had in the last week. No, I'm only joking. But you've got so many joints in your body, you've got so many ligaments, so many muscle groups. So you think, right, okay, what's the common things that I'm seeing and what's the things that we're most confident about that we can help people with, shoulder pain, back pain, neck pain. Pick one of them and speak specifically to that messaging. There's one of our clients just now that we don't manage their ads, but they've seen a really, really good return on being specific on shoulder pain with shockwave therapy. So they've combined the issue, which was shoulder pain, so it's very, very specific, but then combined the service that they would pair up with that. So again, in physio, you've got different tools, you've got different exercises, you've got different ways of treating it, you get, and that's ultimately what it's came down to. And they've then picked the tool that they use the most with the problem that the person has and paired that together, and they're seeing a really, really good return on their ads compared to all the ads that they've ran before. So this stuff works, right? Pick I think if you don't know what to pick, just pick the thing you get the most margin in. So for us, we can do content days, but there's a lot of time that's involved in that. So whereas landing pages and websites, like we don't necessarily need to travel much for that. Sometimes we do actually. But podcast is another one because people come to us. So we might run a campaign specifically for people looking to podcast. And then it's like, okay, do we want everyone who podcasts? No. Do we want do we want businesses who are interested in podcasts? Yes, because they're our clientele. So think about that as the messaging. That is the way that you script out your videos and what you put in the copy. The more specific you can call someone out, that then means that's the type of lead that comes back to you. I think Hormozy said this in a video I saw on just the other day. If you put a white man in your ad, you'll get more white men that fill it out. If you put a girl in her mid-30s in her ad, you'll get more people in their mid-30s applying or leads coming through. So the more relatable, the more that I look like you look like me type of thing, the better the response that you get in some of these ads. So that's why I really, really like testimonial ads or using testimonials in the lead process to convert business because it just does a really good job because it's like, okay, I can't necessarily speak a lot about the issues that you're dealing with when it comes to the kitchen and bathrooms that you sell. However, we've got a client over here that has a showroom. They sell a different product, but here's the strategies that we've done. So it's like, oh, okay, I can see how that would work for me. So it's just this is where it's going, right? So you would then have a channel that filters through and you run ads to person A. So if carpets is the thing that you want to do because you have most margins, target carpets and you'll get more leads in for carpets. Once you've got that running, you might then go, cool, we're making so much money in this one thing. Let's start selling more of our stuff. So then you move it over to Herrenborn. Then you move it over to something else. Things change. Things go seasonal. The creatives themselves, there might not be as many people in the market for carpets than there is herringbone, so you need to factor that in as well. If you start seeing a dip in your ad, it's like, okay, how do we change this up? Do we put a new hook on it? Do we change up? Maybe the messaging's still the same, but you're showing off a different process. You're showing off different ways and different things that people will relate to and kind of perk up and go, okay, yeah, I'm interested in that. But at the end of the day, sometimes a very, very simple ad, like we've been running a basic ad for one of our customers, which has just been a general point, and we've had such a good response from that. Now, what's quite interesting is some of these leads have came in like 6 o'clock at night, and by 4 p.m. the next day is when they've then phoned them back, and they're phoning them like, oh, I ended up buying something last night. So it's like, oh, it's like these were people that were ready to buy, and we've missed an opportunity not getting back to them quicker. So bonus tip here, when your leads come in, phone them as quick as you can. As soon as you see it, pick up the phone and phone them, or get some sort of automation in place. If you want to know the tools that we use a system called Lead Connector or High Level. I'll leave a link below. Feel free to kind of check out that system. It's been a game changer for us. We have the agency model, so if it's something that you want us to set up for your business, let us know. But be happy to put you under our wing and kind of show you the ropes. There's unlimited amount of education on YouTube and a variety of other sites and whatnot. So if you're looking to automate a part of this, again, there's so many different tools in that are out there. The one, as I said, that's just one that we use. And if you want to support us, then you can click on that link below, and it's a little affiliate discount as well. So you get the first 30 days for free, I think. But again, use whatever you feel comfortable with. Maybe you've already got a system or a CRM that does it. Great. So that is Meta Ads. This is the first episode back in a little while. If you've got any questions about what I said or what I went over, please leave them below this video. You can comment on Spotify and YouTube. So I'm not too sure about Apple Podcasts. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, then holler at us on Instagram at Bulletproof Studios __. Until next time, next episode, I'll talk about different creatives and how to change the creatives. That's probably like a good follow-up episode. And then hopefully by then I can talk about different strategies in terms of the funnels that we're creating behind some of these concepts. So that wraps up for us today. See you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.